Welcome to the 13th video on Microsoft Surface and Windows 8. In this video I'm going to be talking about Netflix and then also how to connect your Surface device up to a television or to a second monitor. You can actually have your desktop stretched across two monitors with the Surface, just like with your PC. To start with, you need to download Netflix, and you just go to the Microsoft Store, search for Netflix, and you'll find that it's a free install. I've gone ahead and I've installed that already on my device, so we don't have to wait for that to download. And so I'm just going to kick that off here. The other thing you're going to need is a Netflix streaming account, and I believe that's $7.99 a month, the first month free, but that allows you to access all of their streaming content online. Now, their streaming content isn't quite as extensive as their DVD one, but I've found plenty of stuff for myself to watch, lots of television shows, some movies, documentaries if you like those. I've found a bunch of them. Now, I'm quite used to the web-based interface, and there's a number of things I really like about the one they've developed for the Surface. It reminds me a lot of the Xbox interface. You can see here, I can scroll back and forth. It's showing me the movies that I watched recently, my instant queue. So these are movies that I've picked to say that I want to watch at some point. Some movies they've guessed that I'd like to watch, and then popular, and it just goes on and on. When you're at the very front page here, and you can get to that menu anytime by pressing this little drop down bar here, it allows you to go directly to the top 10 for you, new releases, and then genres. You can sort of pick, do you want TV show, dramas, whatever. So for example, I can hit TV shows here, and it just crashed. Let's try that again. So if you ever see an application go away like that, that is usually that it has crashed. So it looks like there's a bug in the Netflix program here, but bring it back up. We'll go back over and try it again. My wireless is not super fast, but you can see it's doing a pretty good job of bringing over the various graphics for each of the shows. And then if you find one you like, I like Breaking Bad, for example, you just click on that and it will pull up some more information about the show. And I don't remember seeing this on the web page version, but on the bottom here it's actually showing brief snippets of each of the episodes, which is sort of cool because then you can sort of find your place if you forget which episode you're on. It also shows the average rating, some information about who's starring in it, etc., etc. So sort of a really nice way to go and explore your shows. It does look like a number of the menus are limited. It's not showing every single TV show it has. So you're going to want to use search probably to look for some things. And just like all the other apps, the way you do that is you use the right swipe from the edge, go to the Charms menu, and then hit search. And you can see it knows it's in Netflix, so it's going to do the search there. And so one movie I was watching fairly recently called Indie Game, you just start typing it in, and once it starts finding matches, it will display the movies and TV over at the side here. So that's the one that I wanted to look at. You can hit Indie Game, it will show you some basic information, and then you can just start playing it by hitting the play button here. That's going to buffer up the video, which depending on your connection speed and the quality of the video could take a couple of seconds, and then the movie will start to play. And so one thing I've really liked on this is that the quality of the screen, and actually let me mute this just for a second. So the mute button is the second one on the top of your Surface one. And so you can see here that, that the quality is really nice. And even though it's not as big as a TV, I find it very, very watchable. Good quality, good refresh rates. I think only once when my wireless was slow did I see some pixelation and stuff. So very nice view there. If you want to pause or move to a particular section of the movie, you just tap the screen and it will bring up the bar here where you can then sort of select where you want to go or hit the pause button. So really nice experience here, but what you can also do is hook up the Surface to a television or to another monitor. And so what I have over here is my computer monitor. My television set actually doesn't have a high enough resolution for Netflix. Netflix requires over 760 pixel resolution, and mine's a little bit older. But basically any TV that has this HDMI input will work. And so what I'm going to do is I bought a cable. I got this this on Amazon for $4. Whoop. And it's a fairly long one. This one's over 10 feet long, so I could actually hook it up and then sit down on the couch and watch a movie. But you just plug that in on this side. Flip it back over, you can see it. And then on the surface, if you look on the right-hand side of the surface, you're going to notice that there's a number of ports. Right on the top here, I think that's the microphone or one of the speakers. The next port down is the HDMI, and so that's the Mini-HDMI. Then it's your USB port and your power connector at the bottom. But I'm going to hook this up to the Mini-HDMI. And I always forget which way this goes. Looks like it doesn't fit, but trust me, it does. You just have to get it the right way. And then what we'll see here, as soon as it finds it, my monitor's now searching, you'll see that the image that I have on the screen is the same one that's up here. And so I can go ahead, click on this, get it playing again, and now I have it playing on the larger screen. So that's really nice. And the pixelation you're seeing here is actually part of the movie. They filmed the television set. You'll see in a little bit that it clears up. Now, so fantastic. You can watch this on a TV, on another monitor. One thing you might find distracting, though, is having this on both displays. That also uses more power. The way you can control that is you use the Windows P key. That will bring up a menu where you can then pick what you want to do. Do you want to duplicate? Do you want to do it on the second screen only, which I'm going to pick right now. So I hit second screen only, and you'll see the surface goes black, and then the movie's up here. And it's confirming that I really want to still do that, just in case your connection's not good. So I'm going to put yes. And so now I got the full screen video playing up here, nothing on my surface, a little bit less distracting. And so very, very sort of cool feature. So I'm going to actually stop the movie and show you something else that you can do with this. So if you might have noticed, when you go Windows P, there's also an option to extend. And what that does is that actually splits your screen up so that you have two screens going. So over here, can't see because it's stopped, but over here is the movie. I'm going to actually drag that down and close it. And then you'll see that I have the start page here. If I go to desktop, I'll have the desktop right across. And let me just open a window so you can see what it's actually doing here. Whoop, I opened it and closed it. So I have my libraries here. If you'll watch, I'm dragging it from one monitor, it's showing up on the other. So just like you had two desktop monitors. So this gives you a lot of real estate space. Now when you go hit the Windows key, it's only going to open the start page on one screen, and you can't actually control which screen it goes to. It's normally going to go to the Surface. How did I get it over to this one? You actually will start up any kind of app, so I'll do Maps. And so this is a little trick. I don't know if they actually meant this to work, but you start up an application, go to where you have the hand, and then you're going to drag it down. But instead of dragging it to the bottom to close it, you can actually drag it to the other screen, and then that switches what screen it's going to put the start menu to. It only does that until you reboot it again, but that's a little bit of a trick on how you can make that work. So on the Surface apps, the sort of the new modern apps, it's always going to only be on one screen. You can pick which screen. But if you ever use the desktop modes, you now have the option to have it go across those two screens. And so I think that's a pretty cool feature. It's only useful for a couple of things on the RT device, because the only desktop apps you have are the Office apps and the utilities that comes with Windows. But you can combine it with your start screen, have something running on one, not on the other, or like I said, Windows P to then display whatever you want on your main monitor. And so that's sort of a good introduction. Definitely play around with it. I think you'll enjoy it, especially if you like this for movies. And that's about it. Stay tuned for more in the next video.